3, 2, 1. Eid Mubarak! Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Cousin
Connection
Podcast.
Yay, you guys got it.
Did you get it?
As you can see, it's a little bit different this week. You know, first off, it's Eid. And second off, we have two guests here. One of them you've seen a couple times. You're used to her at this point, okay? It's my sister. Mentioned her a couple times here and there, whatever. Y'all probably don't know her, but you'll get to know her.
Hey.
And then but our official guest, our official first-time guest today is my brother here, Yasin.
Damn, you putting the full government name out there.
I know.
Hey,
He
you know
always
what?
does that. He always does that.
Hey,
Okay.
he's gonna be a name in these streets soon enough.
Yeah, but he could be like a first name only, like
Exactly.
Madonna, Cher.
You gotta
Prince.
boost out the last name.
No, but his Instagram name, aka Adonis.
Wait. Okay.
Adonis. Where did Adonis come from?
Because instead of hiding a child, she was hiding a husband.
Oh my god.
Oh, true. All right, clearly we're gonna be calling them out. I think by the time this episode goes up, hold on, let me just check.
What? It's going up on April 25th?
27th.
27th? Yeah.
That means when you're watching this episode, you have 3 more days to enter a giveaway.
Oh, yeah, I
So-
forgot about the giveaway.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Guys hit 3K. That's like a huge deal.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
So
a huge deal. Especially for YouTube. I feel like it's like harder. I
It
feel like
is.
Instagram and TikTok is a little bit easier to gain followers, but
Yeah.
YouTube
Yeah.
is like
Because it's less commitment
exactly
to those
yeah.
social platforms.
Yeah.
But YouTube is like, yeah, like I'm here. You know, I'm here to actually
Yeah.
watch full, long form content.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And for
Yeah.
someone to actually click subscribe on YouTube, like
Yeah.
there's a lot
I know.
of it's not
Yeah.
just like an easy like little plus sign on your For You page, you know?
Exactly.
But I feel like the YouTube community, like they're loyal. They leave like long comments, like
Thoughtful comments.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, dang, thanks, guys.
YouTube is the most loyal audience I feel like across all platforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it hasn't, well, it sort of has changed to the TikTok platform style, but they've separated it. Like you still have the
Yeah.
long to form content, but then you have the Instagram content, the TikTok like content with shorts, right? And I've noticed that in Instagram, they started like, it's basically TikTok now.
What do you mean?
Like
Yeah.
in that, first off, we're getting more engagement on our TikTok, on our Instagram.
Yo, on our reels, right?
Yeah, but it's from
Yeah.
people who aren't following us, right?
Yeah.
So I've noticed that. And also, like, my feed before, it used to be like, you know, maybe 80% people you follow and then 20% people you don't follow. Now it's like 99% people I don't follow. And it's like,
Yeah.
but they know like what you're gonna like, right? So
That's true.
so they like, you know, you kind of don't mind it. And I feel like they've kind of tuned it to a point where people before used to complain about it, but now they don't complain about it as much.
I actually watched
Yeah.
this random video about like all the changes that are coming to Instagram.
Yeah.
And you know, like now they're trying to stay away from, like they're trying to encourage people to use less hashtags. You know how before people would have
Really?
like a paragraph of hashtags, and now they're like, if you have more than 3, they're gonna suppress your content.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, I still do it, but
Oh,
like,
I didn't know that. Thanks for educating me. I'm like, I've been using like 10 hashtags.
so do I.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, so have you noticed a difference then?
I feel like I haven't really noticed that much of a difference. I do feel like Instagram, you have, especially on Reels, it's more consistent views than TikTok. Like TikTok, I might get 1 million or 5 million views on one video, and the next
Yeah.
one has like 8,000.
Yeah.
Like, and
so
I'm like,
inconsistent.
yeah, and I'm like,
know
wow,
why.
where'd y'all go? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Instagram, I feel like it's very consistent based
Yeah.
on like my followers. Like it's you know, it's the same kind of views every single time.
agree.
I feel like there's less virality on Instagram. Like my videos will be popular, but they won't be viral.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I probably have like 1 or 2 or 3 viral like Instagram reels, but on TikTok there's probably like there's a lot more. There's a
Yeah.
lot more viral content on there, which is interesting.
You know?
Yeah, like, and you consider viral like more than 1 million, that kind of thing, or what do you mean?
Yeah,
Or like
yeah, like
100,000,
more than like
200,000?
yeah, like 3, 4, 500,000 plus.
Yeah.
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 We had one viral video, and it was just us singing "Oh Canada."
That was on TikTok.
Yeah,
though. And it was
exactly.
the most like,
Yeah.
I remember when I posted it, I'm like, it's probably gonna get like 600 views, whatever.
Yeah.
And I wake up the next morning, I'm like, oh my God. And it just kept growing and growing.
Yeah, and it's
like
still growing.
over half a
Yeah.
million
Yeah.
views, which is
What?
insane. Like we didn't expect it to be, and it's kind of embarrassing. We're literally singing "Oh Canada,"
Yeah.
and then it's like thousands of comments of everyone saying like the different variations that they've heard in school.
Yeah, because TikTok is all about relatability.
Exactly.
It's only relatability.
But then people at work like started finding it, like those that don't even know that I do a podcast.
Yeah.
And so like they awkwardly were like, "Hey, do you have a podcast?" And I'm like, "No,
Yeah.
Oh
that's
my
not
God.
me."
Have you ever gotten anyone to approach you in public yet about the podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What do you mean? We were
No, I
together.
mean like not like when not randoms, but like not people within our community.
that
Didn't
guy
that
from
happen?
LA. We were all
Yeah,
together.
in LA.
Oh yeah.
Was that
But
what-
outside
Yeah.
of that, have you had any?
I forget where
Yeah.
it was.
It was
taco
outside of the taco
place.
spot.
I can't remember what it was
On
called.
Santa
Oh,
Monica.
Yeah,
Yeah, there
you're
was-
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
There
was
was that
that. I remember
guy.
I filmed it. I think I
Yeah.
took photos or something. Yeah. Yeah.
She had like a proud mom
I
moment.
know. She's like, "Oh my God, you're doing amazing, sweetie.
Yeah. But like locally, it happens to me a lot in the gym. Like in the gym, I've had multiple people say, "Oh, you have a podcast."
There was one girl last summer when we were like, remember that time we were running for the boat at Harborfront?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and
she
someone like
stalked you.
screamed my name from across the street, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Like,
Yeah, I remember.
do I
that.
know?
Wait,
I'm,
where
like,
were
trying
you?
to- We were running to the boat to catch the boat.
Oh, and Harborfront.
Yeah, remember
oh,
that?
okay, yeah, like
then-
when we took the cruise thing, whatever.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
And then I was like,
How did they see you? It was like dark,
don't know.
wasn't it?
Uh,
It was
it
getting
wasn't-
dark.
yeah, but like we were also like just running.
There was
so
a
I'm like,
lot of us.
Oh,
I feel
yeah,
like it
yeah,
was-
yeah.
yeah.
they're like, they probably saw you and then got scared. They're like, oh my God, it's Aysha.
Mm-hmm.
And then saw you, and they
Mhm.
know that if they see you, like, you know, when you see her, you see me.
True.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we actually wanted to get Yasin and Aysha on because I know y'all nosy Aysha viewers are gonna come onto this video and be like, let's see what they ask them.
Uh-huh.
First of all, we just did a name reveal because I feel like you
Yeah.
were nameless for a long time.
You were nameless. People were like DMing me and they're like, "Why aren't you saying his name? What's his name? Is it a secret?" And I was
Wait,
just like,
what?
it was kind of unintentional. I just like never really said his name because
Yeah.
I mean, I just said my husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not like he's in my content all the time and I'm talking about him. I'm talking about my
Yeah.
life, and then I'm just
Right.
like, oh yeah, my husband's just grabbing this thing. I feel like if I just randomly was like, yeah, Yasin is grabbing this, people would be like, who's Yasin?
Yeah.
You know. So it was kind of unofficial. It was like an unofficial name release party.
People found me though. Like,
Yeah.
They found you quick.
Did
like,
you?
They like
No, he's good.
watch my stories and
Mhm.
like,
No
Do
way.
they? Did
I
your
feel
follower
like-
account go up?
yeah, some people
Yeah, they-
follow me. I don't know
Mhm.
how.
You know what? Can we
Your
talk
cousin
about the
was
hard
actually
launch?
mentioning-
Huh?
Who?
Your cousin,
Faisal.
Faisal.
Yeah.
Faisal, he was saying that he saw me in your tag post. He's
Yeah.
like, I saw your profile a long time ago. He's like, I just knew, like,
Yeah.
You know what?
That's so
Okay,
funny.
so those of you guys that don't know, they've been married now for what, 6?
6
Months?
months. Oh,
Yeah.
today's 6 months.
December, January,
It's today's the 23rd.
6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's happy 6 months.
Hey. there you go.
They're spending it with us.
I know.
I think Aisha literally did the softest launch.
The softest.
Soft.
No, I mean like the softest pre-launch, because technically, if you were paying attention, you would have seen. I guess she didn't say it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because people talk about that online. I've seen it where they say soft launch, where they don't mention that they're like together, or they don't mention that it's their husband.
Yeah.
But they're like doing things together, and they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we kind of like can put 2 and 2 together, right?
I think just no one put anything together because I don't know. I think they just didn't expect it to happen, or just I don't know. I was kind of in my like independent girl era.
I was just gonna say that. I think
Yeah.
they saw you in that light for such a long time.
Yeah, exactly.
And then
It was just like a shock. But he was in. Is he good?
Huh?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
if you want to make it higher, you can like loosen up. There's
This
like a
thing-
little
this- yeah.
knob
Oh,
on the
this
end
is-
there.
If you guys can hear me, this is perfect.
Okay,
you're
that's good.
I
That's
just
good.
didn't want it like all
Oh, okay, you're good then.
Okay.
You're good then. Yeah.
covering my face either.
Yeah. This like yeah, because he was in my like I would take photos with him and like, but it would be like in a group setting.
Yeah.
So like I'd be with
Yeah.
like 12 other people and he'd be in there. So
Yeah.
people would just not really expect it, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, when we had him, so when we did the hijabi talks
Oh yeah.
in LA, he was like in the podcast.
Yeah.
He was literally talking,
like a
and
quick
making a
Yeah.
lot of points.
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
no one
one said anything.
no one questioned. They're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
probably just one of the cousins.
Exactly.
And I was like, yeah, true.
I was honestly more shocked that people didn't catch on, because I feel like I have not everyone, and I love my viewers, obviously, but y'all can be nosy, and people will put two and two together through comments, through people I follow, through who they follow.
True.
So I was just like, there's no way they don't know.
Well, I didn't follow him at first because we were like, no,
Oh,
like
yeah, it'll
if
be obvious.
Amir and I follow, like they'll be like, yeah, no, they're gonna find him.
Yeah, and I think you were like, oh, I want to meet him in person first before like you follow him or something.
Yeah, I was trying to like intimidate him. It didn't work. It didn't work very well.
Y'all be playing with the
Yeah.
follows like that? I think I just followed right away. I can't remember now.
I can't
don't know.
remember.
I can't remember when.
I think
did.
you followed
Mhm.
him after though, because you hadn't met him yet. I don't really know. Anyways,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But so that hard launch was.
I've been asking you. I'm like,
I
so
know.
when are you guys gonna post it?
Mhm.
Like,
My thing was like, I don't want just like a random like selfie. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, I want to like take some nice photos.
yeah.
And what happened was Natalie was our photographer for our like nikah shoot, and she had reached out, I want to say like last summer, and she was like, hey, I'm like an intimacy like photographer, and I'm looking to work with like a Muslim couple.
Yeah.
And she's like do you have a significant other or like, you know, something? And I was like, oh, I'm not married, but and I'm like, I'm not really sure who to suggest either, but I'm like, I might be married soon, so like I'll hit you up basically.
Yeah.
So I hit her back up like months later, and I was like, hey, so I'm married now, like, are you still down for that shoot? And she was like, yeah. So she's amazing, by the way. Like, if anyone in the LA area is looking for like a photographer to work with, she was so amazing. She made us feel like extremely comfortable. And yeah, we picked this like beautiful location in LA. It was at the not Griffith, Greystone Mansion. It's like this. It didn't even look like LA. Like it felt like we were in like London or something. And it was kind of like gloomy that day too. So it was just like a beautiful location. And we just got dressed up. And I mean, we hadn't had a wedding yet. I think people thought we did. People actually thought those were wedding photos.
Really?
And I was like, oh, we didn't have a
Because
wedding.
your dress
Yeah.
was white, he was in a suit.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just kind of and then I was like, all right, this is gonna be the hard launch, and we
Yeah.
were so nervous.
Why?
Yeah.
Were you nervous?
We just didn't know how it would be, I guess.
Mhm.
Like, I remember, like, all right, I should, like, was going to post it, and then we put our phones away.
Sorry, one sec.
Oh, we got a tea delivery. Shout out to Mama for the tea.
Real one.
But you were talking about what were you talking about? Shoot.
How they were nervous about the
Oh,
hard
yeah.
launch.
So I drafted the content, and I was like too nervous to post it. I don't know why.
Really?
We were just like anxious. It wasn't nervous. It was just like it was like our official debut, because at that point we had been together, like married for
4 months.
almost 4 months at that point. And it was such like a private like life.
Yeah.
You know, like there wasn't anyone in our business. Like it was just like a peaceful time.
Yeah.
And I was like, once we post this, like it's over. Like we don't have privacy anymore. You know, like people are gonna be asking us. Like it's just that like intimate private moment that we had was gonna end. So like we were just kind of, at least in my, that's kind of how I felt. I was like a little anxious, but also like I was also ready to just kind of like get on with it, because I was just like, I feel like I'm living this really inauthentic life on YouTube. Like I can't talk about the most important thing in my life. I was like, it's just time.
Even when I was visiting
Yeah.
and like you still hadn't said it, I was like, oh, are you sure we should be like take a photo with him here and all that kind of stuff? And you're like, whatever.
I was just kind of like, if people put it together, they will. We're married at this point, but like no one did.
Like I remember that group photo. So at first I tagged him.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
I was like,
I know. I was like, I messaged her. I was like, can you untag him real quick? I'm like, I don't want this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really want this to be the hard launch or like whatever.
Yeah.
but even then,
the
like
soft
no
launch.
No
one
one really said anything.
said anything. No one questioned me. They
I
just,
think they just probably thought he was one of Amir's friends, or like, I mean, I have other guy friends too that are like around sometimes. So like, maybe they just assumed, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, when you posted that, I made him do it. I was like, click it. And then we literally shut our phones, put it away. I jumped in the shower, and then I just like, we didn't look at it for like, 30 minutes?
Like 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
And then when we open it, I forget how many likes there were, but there was like,
It's like
20,
over
it
30K
was
or
like,
something.
No, it was like 18,000, I think. And we literally look at each other, we're like, 20.
Like, I didn't want to be that big.
Yeah. And then that's my most liked piece of content ever.
That's how
it
you know there's
Over
lurkers out there.
100,000.
Yeah, that's
It's
crazy.
insane.
That's actually wild. I'm like, where are y'all during all my normal content?
Exactly.
But you know
hello?
what though? Like even though like one, I follow you and I've liked the photo and commented on it, like it lived on my explore page or whatever that page
really?
is for so long.
Oh wow.
And then like other people would repost it and like it was
Yeah.
just being circulated.
I think the
Yeah.
reposts really helped too. When
Yeah.
people start reposting the
I think
photos.
so.
Yeah.
It was
that's
just
true.
like such a shock. Like I knew obviously people would be like happy and excited about it.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of us like realized it was gonna be like that. I mean, it was a hard launch, but it was like it broke the internet, like Muslim internet.
Yeah. Like honestly though, like your followers are very like they love you so much that
I
they
know, it
DM'd
means a
me and they're
lot.
like, oh my god, I
Oh.
was like, oh, I'll tell you that you said that.
That's so
Wow.
cute.
Yeah, like they love you,
Yeah,
and
I
they feel
was-
so like I saw that you. I think you saw it on TikTok. Someone told
Yeah.
their mom, and she was like so
Yeah.
happy, and I'm like,
People were like making TikToks out of it, and their TikToks were going viral.
yeah.
And I'm like, dang.
But
And-
for me, like I always get awkward when people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, congratulations on your sister getting married." I'm like, "What? Thank you."
Just say thank you, make dua for her, and then leave it at that.
Yeah.
I
try
mean,
to-
I would say that too. So yeah, that
Uh-huh.
makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
like if like your brother when your brother got married, oh, congrats, or
Yeah.
like, you know, yeah.
Mhm.
It's 'cause
Okay.
it's a family. It's a family moment. I guess.
Exactly.
I guess so. Yeah.
Family edition.
A
I'm
family
just
edition.
awkward, so maybe that's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
But how was it for you? Like,
Ah.
because that was your also first debut on like social media. Like,
Yeah. I
my
just feel
social media.
There's so many comments.
is he
Were
good?
you overwhelmed?
a little bit quiet, but it's
Yeah,
like
make sure it's a little.
There you go.
My bad. No, it felt good. Honestly, it was like relieving a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
A man of many words.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's pull a little bit out of you then, okay?
Like, did you
Let's-
feel? did you feel anxious like before she posted it, or were you like, you know what, fine, I'm ready. Like, let's just get this over with.
I felt anxious a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, well, I got to follow up with mine. It was like,
Did you make a post as well?
Yeah, I made a post.
Stop this.
the
No, I
same
can't
day.
remember now.
Post was so nice. I read it. I was like, oh my goodness.
So yeah.
Mhm.
How do you feel about it now? Like, do you see
Feels normal.
yourself like dabbling into the content creation space, or like you're just like, I'm here, I exist, but I'm not going to be doing all that. Like, that's her thing.
So I like that we both have our own things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But like I'd say prior to this, I had tried to like make my own videos here and there.
Yeah.
Just like as a side thing.
Yeah, because we can pull it out of him now. What people might not know is that Kevin or Yasin is also a fashion designer. You know,
Yes.
a men's fashion designer, and also technically a women's fashion designer.
Yeah, I'm waiting for you to be
Low key.
inclusive to the women so I
Yeah.
can support.
You guys might have even seen some of his work already.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's made a couple pieces for me. One specifically that I wear all the time actually.
Is it the jean one?
No, the
it's like
silk.
a
Oh, which one?
silk blouse.
It's
Oh,
like
the
that
silk
silk.
blouse.
Yeah,
Oh,
I wore
okay,
it to
yeah.
that wedding that we went to in November.
Yeah. Well, now you
Yeah.
can tag him in it. You know, you can
He's
edit
been
it.
tagged.
I actually had tagged him.
Oh, you did?
That's what's also funny because I that was posted in I don't even remember, maybe early 2022 or
Yeah.
maybe even 2021. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did tag him.
Oh,
'cause,
okay.
I mean, he was the designer behind it, so I
Yeah.
tagged him, and
But no
still,
one questioned
no one
that.
questioned
No
it.
question.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh,
Have
it's
you
just a brand.
Have you been designing your whole life?
So since college.
Since college? Okay.
Yeah, midway through college, I kind of was just like, this is what I want to do. So
Was it something you wanted to do before, or you took it more seriously before once you got to college,
so
or you
once
just found out about it at that time?
I always like, so my mom used to sew her own clothes,
Mhm.
so I just had machines laying around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I packed my luggage for college, I
Mhm.
also had a sewing machine.
Oh.
Okay.
So I used to make little bow ties. That was like the first thing I used to make for my friends and
Mhm.
stuff. And
Did
then,
you sell it?
Yeah, I sold little
Good.
bow ties.
Oh,
good.
So you're official, you know. If
Custom
you made money
ones.
from it, you're official fashion designer.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have like
Yeah.
style inspo, or are you just like fully doing your own thing, making your own inspiration for others?
I mean, there's certain people I like, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Who are your
I'm typically trying to
inspirations?
find my own
Your own
lane.
style.
Yeah, but who are your inspirations then?
In fashion.
In fashion.
You wouldn't know them.
I can pull them up, okay?
I'm just kidding.
I'm pretty well versed, okay? I think I know my stuff here. Okay, mention a couple names. I don't think I know them.
Like Alexander McQueen.
Definitely
Big
know him.
fashion
He doesn't
designer.
know who that is. I knew
If
it.
there was anyone you should know,
I
you should
know.
at least know Alexander McQueen.
That sounds like the
Damn.
singer or
Seriously,
something. I don't know. Alexander McQueen.
I'm actually shocked.
What's his brand name?
Alexander?
Or just McQueen.
Damn.
He like makes the skulls. If you've seen those on designs, like the skull scarves and like.
Do you remember the skull? Like it was bigger
It was
in the
really
early
big in-
2000s.
yeah.
Maybe.
2010.
Maybe.
Wow.
Maybe you've seen his shoes before. Like,
Yeah, if I see photos, which I'll probably pull up and put it behind us, then I'll like understand. Let me. I've seen it definitely.
Yeah.
You know.
but yeah, mainly
Mhm.
trying to find my own lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. How would you describe your personal style?
I'd say not dressy, but like
I
I would
would
describe
say,
it as like the new formal kind of like where
Yeah.
I'm like I'm not like in a suit and tie or anything like that, but like
Yeah.
it can be dressed up, dressed down kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like a very like not casual, but like
It's like
comfortable.
effortless.
Yeah,
Like
comfortable.
elevated casual.
casual, but also like using the same things you would see in like a formal setting.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have like a really loose fitting blazer and with like a shirt
Yeah.
under it, not like a button down shirt, but like just a regular
Mm-hmm.
a long t-shirt or something like that under there. Loose fitting pants, but they're dress pants, but they're loose fitting
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
with the long shoes. I swear you probably have that outfit downstairs.
No, for real. I'd
Yeah.
say that like new formal kind of stuff,
Mhm.
like a little more, I guess,
Like cool
out
details.
there and
hmm
not so traditional.
Yeah. And you're working on. Are you allowed to announce like what you're working on?
So it's like something I've been working on for like a year with my best friend.
Yeah.
His name is Ari or Arenze.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And he's been a buddy of mine since college. We were roommates and stuff.
Mhm.
And we actually like have played with the idea of working together for years.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And one morning we were just talking like at 5 a.m. and it just like all right, we're gonna actually do this.
Those late night talks, that's where
Early morning
things
talks,
happen.
really.
Yeah, exactly. Technically, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah,
Do
he's
you
been
feel
working
like-
on it for a while.
And do you feel like because you guys are both in the fashion space, like you guys play off each other and like there's inspo from both of you, like if she's like, oh, I think you should wear this, and I know, but this is for the viewers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I consult with Aysha all the time about
Yeah.
different fabrics. Like when I'm running out downtown LA, I'll come back and we always do like a blind test. She'll
Yeah.
like fill 2 fabrics and let me
Oh,
know
really?
which one she likes better. And she's
Yeah.
always like spot on.
I'm
with
very
it.
particular, so like I feel like I'll be very blunt and honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Mhm,
yeah,
that's good.
Yeah,
She
and I
knows
mean,
her fabrics and
yeah,
stuff.
and like in terms of like my fashion,
Mm-hmm.
like he will just I mean, I wouldn't really say you help style me, but like you give your taste. You're like, oh yeah, that's cool, or like maybe try this, or like
Different-
Yeah.
Different things.
yeah, it's really cool. Just like we like just like dressing up to just do random things,
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's fun. But yeah, so he's working on that. Thing is, he's actually like very. So I recently did my entire office. Like
Yeah.
which speaking of, this used to be my office, and now it's
Oh
completely
yeah.
it's completely decked out. It's very different.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just like redid my entire office in LA. I have a whole video on it on my YouTube channel. But at first, in that video, I have like just a regular desk and like something that we've been like going back and forth about for like literally since we got married.
Yeah.
Is like he's just like, I need my like sewing machine here, I need that, and I was like, but it's so ugly, like I don't want it in here because I'm all about the aesthetics, obviously. But
Yeah.
he did win. We compromised, and now he has his sewing machine like in the corner of the office and stuff. And
Yeah.
You got your little corner.
yeah, he got his little corner. So no, but it's cool. Like he's always like working on it late at night, clearing the island, working on his like patterns.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's really cool to see because I think even like before we met, I hadn't really known much about the design process. And like obviously, as a modest fashion influencer, like
Yeah.
I was like, I just kind of thought it was easier. I was like, you have a design in your head, you have someone like draw out the design, and then someone just makes it.
Yeah.
But it's like not even like that. It's like that's how it starts, but now you have to take like a whole like paper thing and like measure out, like there's a lot of math involved. You have to
Yeah.
measure out the exact like specifications on paper and like cut them out and like I had no idea that
math and geometry.
Yeah, like I had no idea that. I thought it was literally just like you think about it, someone makes a photo of it, and then they just sew it.
Yeah.
But like it makes a lot of sense, like because obviously even just to configure something like this, like you have to have the exact specifications, or else like the arm isn't going to fit properly and whatever. So in my sense, it's been really interesting to see, because I'm like, you know, in the future, inshallah, if I decide to launch like a modest fashion line, I'm like, I know kind of what, based on like everything he's been doing, and honestly, that like for you to be able to fit that in with still like a full-time job outside of that, like,
he's
it's
also
a lot.
full-time.
Yeah, he works full-time too, but like it's really interesting to see. I'm like, that's a lot of work, and now I kind of have a more realistic vision of what it takes to create like a fashion line. It's not just like as easy as, and it gives me kind of like a new appreciation for brands, like especially like smaller up and coming brands. Like I always hear on TikTok people complaining about like, oh, like why are they charging like $200 for this dress? I can find it for $5.99 on AliExpress, and I'm like, okay, but that $5.99 is slave labor. And I'm like, if you guys are talking about the Uyghur Muslims and like all of this stuff going on and slave labor in one hand, and then like hating on Muslim influencers that are showing like Shein and Zara and stuff like that, but now you're complaining that they're selling a $200 dress. I'm like, but a $200 dress is made ethically, and is made how like you are trying to promote, like you're trying to promote these sustainable practices.
That's one thing he's doing on top of that, is making sure that it's made in America with ethical materials and all of that, which is something you don't have to do, but it's a good thing to do, and he's doing that with his brand.
And that's expensive. You know? Like I've met his sewer, Morella, like like I know who she is, like I see the conditions she's working in, like it's a good condition and all of that, you know, she's able to pay her bills and support her family, and it's like it gives me a new appreciation for fashion, which is really cool.
And I hope more brands start to like move towards that, because like fast fashion was a big thing in the past few years, but I do notice that people are starting to move towards more of like a sustainable fashion industry, because like they're starting to see the repercussions of that, where like people are
I'm just thinking like from the other perspective, like although you can afford it, as much as you want to be conscious about what you're consuming, like not everybody has, you know, the luxury of spending $80 for a t-shirt compared to like $6 for a t-shirt, you know, and so it's that like that space where you're like, I want to, but I can't right now, and then maybe one day there'll be a time where we can have sustainable and ethically made clothing in-house for like a decent, affordable.
I think like if the processes are made to be more efficient here, then they could start bringing that price down. But I feel like those larger companies are kind of pushing to not make it as efficient. Like they're intentionally not making it more sustainable here, because they know they can make more money if they just make it overseas.
Obviously, business is business.
Because if they had an incentive to do it, they would do it. They would make it cheaper. They would find a way, right? But
I mean, look at how the makeup industry changed, because they were called out so many times about like shade ranges. I'm sure the fashion industry would be too.
I think the issue is like overconsumption though. Because it's like, like someone complained that someone can complain that, oh, but I can't afford that $80 t-shirt or that $80 sweater, so I'm gonna buy this $5 or $6 or $15 one. But it's like, if you're buying a $15 like sweater every single month because you're saying it's cheaper, you could just buy something that's slightly more expensive and keep that for a whole year, as opposed to continually, like, it's overconsumption. You can't in one breath say, I'm buying this because it's cheaper and it's more affordable for my lifestyle, but then in the same breath buy like 15, 20 of those items. Like it doesn't equal the same thing. Buy one $200 piece, keep it for 5-10 years, as opposed to buying like $15 pieces like 50 times over in 1 year. You know?
I feel like we're making all your points for you. So what's your opinion on all this?
I know, sorry.
No, you guys got me thinking. And it's like just having these kind of conversations out loud inspire me in like something just clicked in my head. So
there you go. See? So this is a conversation, but also inspiration for all of us. Okay, we're all learning here. We're all here to learn in these conversations, right?
Exactly.
Hear perspectives, from others. Consumers.
That's true. We're all consumers, like you guys included, because you obviously purchase clothing too, and I think when you're at that place where you're obviously purchasing for yourself, I think you got to think about it like, I'm investing in good quality clothing or shoes or jackets, whatever, so that it can last me a long time. Whereas someone who's like maybe buying for kids, you know, they grow out of things like in 2 days. So you have no choice but to purchase it. But I find that a lot of people now are either donating the clothing, selling it for cheaper prices, you know, whatever, repurposing it somehow, some way. And I think that if we move towards that, and I think COVID kind of helped with that too.
I sold a lot of stuff on my Poshmark, and people love it because they're like, oh, like I can buy pieces that I wouldn't normally be able to afford, and they're still just as good because I might have just taken one photo of it. We went thrifting yesterday. We went to Black Market downtown.
You could see thrifting has become so popular that it was literally like the store was full when you guys were there. Right?
Oh, was it?
It was so full. I was actually shocked.
How's the thrift scene in Toronto compared to LA?
You know, I actually haven't like thrifted in a while. It used to be like a really big thing for me though.
Oh, okay.
But it was pretty cool yesterday. Like it was raining yesterday, but so many people were outside. It was like legit packed in there. Maybe like over 50 people in there.
I mean, this is your first time. That was your first time exploring Toronto.
And you probably get inspiration for that, right? From thrifting, because you see like older styles, but that might have gone out of fashion, but now it can be brought back in a different way, right?
Yeah, all the time. Like even if I'm not, you know, buying clothes, if I'm stuck on a project I'm working on or something, I like to just go feel fabrics, touch other designers' clothing. So I just run to the store, ride my bike. To literally touch every piece of clothing in the store. And then something just clicks for me, or I'll, you know, get inspiration.
That's cool. I know you said that it was your first time exploring Toronto. This is your first trip here. What do you think?
I like Toronto. I really do, actually.
I know you were fasting the first few days, so I feel like you didn't really get to like enjoy all the good food that we have to offer.
I've been talking it up so much. So I'm like, now I get to show.
We got a day where we can, you know, we're going to be exploring a little bit.
Today we're going to be exploring a little bit. But I feel like
that's fun,
so this is your first kind of like meet the family, like extended family and like whatnot kind of trip. Like what's your... I mean, it could be overwhelming. There's a lot of gay people here, hetero people here, and just like how was that?
She's also like the resident celebrity here, so like she's not just like an average person who's like, oh yeah, this is Aisha's husband. It's like, oh my god, Aisha, oh my god, I know you too. How do you feel?
It's been good. So many names to remember, but like I've been eating good. You know, seeing the places Aisha grew up, went to. Mosque, the family. So it's been a lot of love. For sure. But yeah, I do like Toronto a lot. I got to explore yesterday for the first time. So
you said basically like a cleaner New York.
yeah, seriously.
Dang. Okay.
I like it. Like I live downtown LA now. I don't know if you share that.
Yeah, I've talked about it.
But I like the downtown scene. So Toronto is like,
you like it?
Really cool.
Yeah. I think you guys are here for a little bit longer-ish, so you can
5 more days.
Still
guys, I have to pee.
All right, let's just take a break, guys.
I gotta really pee.
We're gonna take a break. We'll be back.
Okay,
cool.
So Toronto. So you said you liked it. Would you ever think of moving to Toronto?
You know, I liked it a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wouldn't mind it.
Imagine he liked it in the rain, the cold.
Rain but like when you guys got here, there was like.
Yeah, it was
we had nice weather for like
but he didn't
days.
really see anything for those 2 days other than
don't worry, when you guys come back it'll be nicer, inshallah. So.
I don't like the cold because I grew up in Jersey.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm used to it. But yeah, like yesterday I was really inspired. So
it's a nice spot to visit, I guess, if anything.
I wouldn't mind
it's
it.
your second home now.
I've always toyed with the idea of like a summer property here. But I hate the winter and I hate the cold, so.
And also property out here is like $1 million for a shack, so. It's not really the most.
I was actually on Zillow last night looking at some condos.
Here?
They were expensive, but like also we make American dollars, so.
Oh, yeah.
But every time I look at condos now, I'm like, they're so
like
small.
You know, surprisingly, but I found a 2-bedroom plus den, 2-bathroom condo right beside the CN Tower for like $800,000, and it's 1,100 square feet.
What?
Yeah.
1,100 square feet.
1,100 square feet. And then I transferred that to
Math
American,
in.
and it was like 600 something
The
thousand. I was
math
like,
is not.
that ain't bad. I was like, that, I know.
No.
I don't know. Maybe it's been on the market for a long time, so maybe they kept like decreasing the price. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I'm like kind of curious to like check it out because I'm like, like that'd be really good for like Airbnb or
There
like.
must be something about it. There must.
I
be
know.
something
I'm like,
about it.
what's the
Yeah.
catch? Because even the balcony is huge. It's bigger than the one I have in LA.
Really?
Which is like, yeah, it was like double the size of that.
It's like a
It was just a
loft or-
long. No, it was like a condo.
Yeah.
And it has a
No.
view of the Toronto, like the CN Tower, kind of on the side.
But the
Stop.
issue,
So I'm like, what's
the issue is that like,
catch?
but the issue is that like, there's gonna be everybody in Toronto
Yeah.
who doesn't have a place right now thinks there's gonna be a crash at some point. And
Yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
almost guaranteed that there has to be one just because of how much like
It's
there was that
inclined.
video that was at TikTok. I don't know if you guys saw it, where the guy shows like the increase in house prices versus the increase in income for people. In America, it was kind of like just slightly above the increase in prices. I mean,
Yeah.
in income in America. In Canada, it literally almost looked like it went straight up.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, in like a span,
Yeah.
and it's because after the 2008 crash, in America everything kind of like went back down, but for Canada it just shot back. Like we didn't have the
Yeah.
same crash, so for us it just shot up, and it just continued to
true.
go up from there.
So when it crashes, I'll be ready with my money.
Same. Exactly. Yeah.
No, but I would love that. I feel like it'd be nice. Like you can spend the summers in Toronto. you
Yeah.
know,
Close to
enjoy
Jersey.
it, close to
You ever want to
Jersey.
go back?
I was gonna say like since you're from Jersey and you're like a fashion designer,
Yeah.
so New York is like the fashion capital.
Yeah.
So why move to LA?
LA is cool too.
Yeah.
A lot of things are made in LA.
Mhm. Was it purely for a business move, or was it just because you didn't like the weather?
I want to change.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah.
That's what it was. One day my friend, he picked me up and we went out
Mhm.
to get food and we were just chatting.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't seen him in a long time, like
Yeah.
maybe like a year at this point. We were really close, and he was just like, "Yo, I'm moving to LA in like a
Mhm.
month or like 2-3 weeks actually." And at the time, I had hated my sales job, and I'm like, "Yo, you know what? I'm coming with you." Like,
Mm-hmm.
You just decided like that?
yeah, it was on a 2-week notice. I had an apartment. I lived alone at the time. I gave it up, sold all my stuff.
Dang.
Packed my car up to the brim where like you couldn't even drive because all the windows were blocked, and I shipped it across country with half my things.
Yeah.
See?
Brought the other half with me in suitcases.
But you know what's weird? That's a weird thing. That's a weird concept to us, but to Americans,
I was just gonna
Yeah.
say
that
that.
is such a normal thing.
Y'all just pack up and leave like it's no big deal. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna move across the country.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's because
Yeah.
you guys have so many options. Like in
Yeah.
Canada, we go what? Vancouver, Montreal, Toronto. Like
But
if you want a lively place, if you want to be in a
Yeah.
quiet place, maybe even Edmonton or Calgary or maybe like Halifax now. But outside of that, like
There's
and,
not
and you're
much.
dealing with bad weather in 80% of those spots. Right?
Yeah.
But you can go to in America. You can go to Texas if you like the heat. You can go to Arizona if you really like the heat. You can go to California if you like the weather, like good weather.
I feel like America has a lot of states where like they are considered big cities. Like,
Exactly.
Yeah.
many different
Yeah.
options.
But we're already in a big city, so it doesn't really make sense to leave because
Yeah.
now you're leaving.
Right.
You're kind of demoting. If you
Yeah.
leave, you know.
right.
But yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool that Americans do have that option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it was perfect. We had said, all right, we're gonna try to live together because we've never lived together, obviously,
With your friend.
with my
Yeah.
friend. And we had an Airbnb. And
What?
We had an Airbnb to start for a month.
Yeah,
You
'cause
can
they
do that
just-
now?
Yeah. What are you talking
I
about?
thought Airbnbs were like you can maybe rent it. It's like a hotel. You get it for like a few days or week or something like
You
that.
can do it for
You
a
You can
month
do long-term rentals
You
too.
can do long-term rentals
Yeah.
on Airbnb. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So him and I got an Airbnb,
Mhm.
and then with my friend, it was me, my friend Nate is who I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend Ahmed.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Muslim guy,
Yeah.
Sudanese,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where I actually started to get
In touch with like Islam.
a little bit, yeah. through
Oh,
him.
okay.
That was like my
Introduction to it.
introduction. I have family who are Muslim as
Yeah.
well.
Okay.
Yeah, your first
But
cousin.
my first cousin is.
Oh.
Mhm. I feel like
So
it's a
you
very
kind
New York
of knew
thing.
about it then. Like you kind of knew about Islam, but never really looked into it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Mhm.
as deeply. He's older, that's why. So we're not like as close.
Gotcha.
No, we're
Mhm.
close, but you know.
Yeah.
So when you had your roommate friend Ahmed there, like what made you interested in like learning more about Islam then?
So just being around him, seeing his discipline, you know, because he had a busy life as well. He's a doctor.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, he's a doctor, and he's like helping out with because my friend who I moved with, he manages artists, so they both do the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was actually meant to be a house for artists. So I'm a fashion designer.
Yeah.
They work together with an artist named Spencer, who's a musician.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was just seeing his discipline and different things. We would have little talks here and there about life and stuff and culture. So
what was his? You said he was Sudanese, right?
yeah.
Okay, so you would talk about like Sudanese culture, but I guess that was a lot tied into Islam as well, right?
Yeah, that's actually who I was on the phone with when I stepped out that one time.
Oh,
at the
really?
restaurant.
Okay.
I talked to him for like 15 minutes or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you know, after Aysha and I met, I would talk with him a lot as well about different things. So it's always like kind of in the back of my head, you know.
Yeah.
Like I knew like where I was previously. I wanted like a closer relationship with God, and that was like something I always like really wanted.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
And so like, okay, so you started talking to him. Did you do that classic thing where like someone gives you the Quran, you start reading the Quran, you pull up to the mosque, and then like after 3-4 months, you get pulled up by the sheikh, and you do like the what do you call it, shahada in front of everyone?
No, so you know, so it was always something I was seeking, obviously, but I just knew what I had learned growing up, because I grew up Christian.
Yeah.
But I wasn't like religious particularly. Like I'd go to the church at the time. For big holidays.
Oh, okay.
Like Easter, Christmas.
But not like a weekly thing.
No, never was that. You know, I did go to Catholic school for a year. So I was taught religion by the book and stuff. But I don't know, it just didn't really align with me a little bit. Like just from like, I always consider myself like, previously I consider myself like spiritual.
Yeah.
Like I knew there was a higher being, but I just didn't really like, certain things didn't make sense to me. Like,
Yeah.
like a lot of this Christianity and religion stuff was like, you know, I'm African American, so living in America, so it's like a lot of it was taught to me.
Yeah.
My ancestors,
Because it's part of the culture essentially, right?
Yeah, like,
it's like us being Harari. Like you're just, if you're Harari, it's synonymous with being Muslim, right? So I feel like African American, at least early on, it was like synonymous with being a Christian, just because of that's how you grew up. It was like the culture at that point, right?
Yeah, Baptist Christian singing in church.
Yeah,
Holy
exactly.
Ghost, all that.
Exactly.
I remember when you mentioned it to me. You mentioned it was almost like, you mentioned it was like something that was taught to you. It wasn't necessarily like innate, if that makes sense. You're like, I felt like it was like forced upon us. I feel like you had mentioned that. And I mean, there is, you know, documents and stuff that and a lot of, you know, slaves were taken from West Africa, which was predominantly Muslim.
Yeah, a lot
still
of
is, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's really interesting that, and I've seen like paintings and stuff of like slaves in the early days that were like praying, but they, you know, obviously the people didn't know what they were doing, so they'd just be like, oh, he's bowing to the east, and we don't really know what's going on. But then, you know, obviously they forcefully changed their religion, so now it kind of seems like it's synonymous with Christianity, but you know, it kind of feels like maybe it was like deep in there, you know. It felt like you connected more to Islam.
It was just always something like, for me, I always wanted to learn about where I come from. You know, I took an ancestry test within the last 6 months to a year. You know, in America, as African Americans, we have the last names of our slave owners. You know? So yeah, like I consider myself a spiritual person. And after, you know, meeting Aysha, learning about Islam a little bit, things just made sense. Like I just always knew, like, no offense to anyone, but like Bibles with like kings' names on it and stuff like that. Like, I just know how history.
You see, like how the man
and it's just like, I thought of it as a book, like, you know, had a be a good person or like, you know, good stories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But never like,
You thought it was
I
like
know
a
it was
good-
necessarily
The dots weren't
factual. Like,
connecting. Yeah.
Right. I get what you mean. Because
You
you
know,
know that it's been changed.
it's been changed so many times. Like,
Mhm. So it didn't intimidate you, like all the stuff that comes with being a Muslim, like the obligations, like the praying and like the fasting. How was did you know about Ramadan before that too? Like how we had to fast for 30 days and all of that?
so I learned about it. Yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't intimidating for me
Mhm.
necessarily because it wasn't something that was like forced on me.
Yeah.
It was something like I learned on my own.
Mhm.
Obviously, I had guidance from people in my life like Aysha, Ahmed,
Mhm.
And some teachers.
and teachers as well
Mhm.
that helped me along the way.
Yeah.
But everything has its knowledge in it, and that's what I liked about Islam. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it just made sense.
You mean
Yeah.
like there's like wisdom behind the things, right?
Everything.
Yeah.
Mhm. And how you ask questions, I feel like is different. Like how the reaction you might get. Like people are more open to questions in Islam, and they'll always have like some answer for you, right? So I feel like I don't know. It's just seems like it comes with a lot more, at least to me. Whenever
I
I'm
mean,
looking at it from the outside.
I think it can only really be overwhelming if like let's say he told Aisha like, yeah, I'm considering becoming Muslim, and she's like, okay, so let me get out my binder, here's everything you need to know about Islam. I think then he'd be like, okay, whoa, but you have to think about it from like his perspective. Imagine you've lived your life a certain way for so long, and then all of a sudden like you're just like throwing every single thing you know at him. Like, of course he's gonna be overwhelmed, but I think you feel like you eased into it and like went at your own pace, right?
Yeah, for me, it was just like, I tell anyone this, like, if anyone of my friends asks about Islam, like, we obviously talked about the knowledge behind it, but like, just like learning about God, in Christianity, we learn of God as like the Father, the Son,
the Trinity.
attributes to humans.
Yeah.
And that's something like with Islam, like it just clicked to me where it's like something that can create this world, other worlds, everything is something you can't fathom.
Yeah.
So it's like when people try to grasp it or like think of it from a science perspective, think of it from Christianity, it's just like it's beyond what you can understand.
Yeah.
And that is really like, I would tell anyone that. Like, it's not something you can just, you
Like
can't
a
grasp
human,
it. Like a
yeah.
human,
Yeah.
Can't do those things.
you can't
We're not given
understand that.
those
Like,
attributes.
so it's like,
And when did you officially convert again? It was like
in November of 2021.
2021. So like you're like fresh, you're getting. But then you've already been through one Ramadan.
This is my second Ramadan.
Yeah. How was Ramadan
it?
for you?
Yeah.
It was good. First year was definitely rougher. I probably lost like 25 pounds.
Damn,
No way.
goals.
Yeah.
Literal
Skinny.
goals.
I know, right? We're like,
I used to skip sahur all the time.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Still low key do.
I feel like waking up.
Yeah.
Well, now with Aysha,
feeding him good.
but this year was a lot better for me.
We had a
Obviously, the
routine.
first couple of days are difficult, but
Yeah.
It's difficult for us too. We've been fasting our whole lives.
Yeah.
yeah, just
No, I'm
having
chilling,
a
I'm chilling.
routine, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having a routine and you focus, honestly, throughout the day. So
How was your first like Eid with, our family and the community?
it was good. I didn't get to celebrate Eid last year.
Yeah.
But this year, I didn't get to celebrate last year, but this year it was really good being
Yeah.
around loved ones. And
Wait, why did you get to? It was because of work and like that got in the way last year.
So at the time, Aisha and I were still getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So she spent Eid with her family in Toronto last
Yeah,
year.
it was
Here.
here.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
So I
all,
didn't
yeah.
really get to show him to a mosque.
Oh,
and,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in LA alone.
Yeah.
For those who don't know,
Yeah.
no family really.
Yeah.
How did your family react to it? Actually, I guess you already had the cousin, so they're kind of aware of it already.
Yeah, I have one cousin. But just in general, my family's really open. And funny enough, like African Americans in the 70s, there was like a wave of Islam, you know, whether it was through like, I don't know whether they associated with Farrakhan or what, but like there was like a wave of like Black African Americans wanting to know about their past, their roots. So my mom had a Muslim name at one point.
Yeah.
Did she?
Yeah.
I found this out recently. I was like, what? Do you remember what it was?
That.
Yakima or something.
Hakima?
It start Yakima.
Yakima?
Something like that.
No, because that's what they used to do. They would take like an originally a Muslim name,
know
but
what?
they would put like a twist on it.
I do know. Like sometimes, like if I meet someone who's African American, I'm like, oh, you have a Muslim name. Like, you Muslim? And they're like, no. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
like you've seen a lot of
Yeah, like Khadijas.
African Americans.
Khadijas.
Amir,
Khadijas that are like not Muslim.
Amir is a pretty popular
Khalid,
name.
the
Khalid,
singer.
Oh yeah, Khalid.
Or Khalid, yeah.
Yeah. So Islam has like pretty deep roots just in American history in
For
general.
sure.
Unfortunately,
Amir
you know,
knows a lot about that.
Yeah,
He's read a lot of books.
I know.
yeah, like unfortunately, it's because it's been suppressed by like
the whites. No, I'm just kidding.
white history essentially has been what's been taught mostly.
Yeah.
But then once you start like peeling back the pages and like you're like the layers and you see the real history of America, like Islam has always been here. You know, there are mosques you can look at from like the 1700s, 1800s, from people, even from like not only African Americans, but there were like Turkish people who came over. There were people from other Arab countries who came over.
That's another big thing. You just reminded me.
Yeah.
High school, I went to a charter school.
Yeah.
Everyone was Turkish.
Oh, there you go.
I didn't realize until recently that when I'm walking around my high school, all the pictures on the wall, everything was related to Islam. And I didn't know.
Wow.
You had no idea you went to an Islamic school.
All the food was halal.
You went to an Islamic school?
Basically, I went to Islamic school. Like my languages were Spanish and Turkish.
Wait, what?
So I know some Turkish.
Really?
So random.
Turkish is like a really hard language too.
And they've come to my house like for Thanksgiving and stuff. Like my mom would invite my guidance counselor over.
Yeah.
His name is Muhammad.
No
And
way.
he brought over like, Turkish dishes and like.
Really?
And I'm like, I didn't know this, but my sister's best friend growing up was a Muslim girl named Aida.
Yeah.
And my sister was hip to all this, like, because
Oh, so she knew.
like she was put on by her friend.
Yeah.
But my sister called me one day. She was like, Kevin, did you know we went to a Muslim high school? She was like, I've known all along because obviously, but she was like, all our teachers, there was like a praying area, like
What?
she was
It was
like
always meant to be.
I know.
there
Exactly.
were prayer mats everywhere.
so
She was like, if
crazy.
you look at all the pictures around the school,
Yeah.
all the Arabic words, everything, like I went to a Muslim high school.
Yeah.
And you had no idea.
Yeah, no
It
idea.
just clicked to you recently.
And I'm like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, yeah, like
It was always meant
It's
to
just
be
so
like
funny.
she said,
You know that TikTok sound where it's like something everything is always connected. like that like
I've never
there's
heard
like
that
this
one.
conspiracy like TikTok sound that was
Yeah.
like, and at the end of the day everything is always connected. And it's like what people do is like show things in their past, like someone might have gone to kindergarten with their now husband and they never met until they were like in their 20s and had no idea until they were comparing photos.
Yeah.
And it's like something like that. It's like there was little signs that were guiding him to Islam slowly, and it's like it's almost like goosebumps, like
yeah, like
right?
it's like that moment where it's just like
Yeah.
Does
You
that
hear a
make you
lot
say
of
like
SpongeBob
Alhamdulillah? Like you,
Yeah.
you've been you were being guided this whole time.
seriously.
Yeah,
you hear
but-
a lot of crazy stories like that, of
Yeah.
like people who didn't know that they were exposed to Islam, or like the way that they were exposed to Islam is like in a very like subtle way. Sometimes not even like the craziest stories are like the ones where you hear where there's like this racist white dude who like went to a mosque to like do harm to the people. There are multiple stories like this, and then someone just greets them nicely at the door, and they're like, "Oh, you're not too
That's
bad," and then they like
why.
give them a book, and like 3 months later, this dude's like the imam.
That's why I'm telling you, like, yes, of course, preaching da'wah and the belief is very, very important, but so are your manners and how you treat
Character.
people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
100%.
the way, because someone's first impression is not going to be like, they're not going to look at you, Amir, and be like, yeah, Amir's Muslim, like he believes in God, whatever. They're gonna see how you interact with them.
Yeah.
and, you know what I mean? So
How
I
you
think
make them feel
exactly.
actions
So-
always speak louder than words.
Yeah, and clearly you
yeah.
even mentioned that, right? Like you said, the manners are what attracted you.
Yeah.
What attracted you initially, right?
Manner.
Like
Like his
discipline.
his
Yes.
Oh yeah. We didn't really
interact?
No, we did.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I guess like he never really like talked to me about it as much. But just like looking back on it,
Yeah.
You kind of see.
Like there were very subtle things that he would do that you kind of, now that you're putting two together, you're like, oh yeah, that was like very Islamic related, or like just something related to what Islam might have taught him.
Like he was the first person I've ever prayed with.
Mm-hmm.
He's the person who taught me how to make wudu.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when because he would visit.
Yeah.
He stayed with me for the first month in LA, but he would visit pretty often.
Yeah.
So when I called him and told him like, you know, I made my shahada and stuff, you know, we would talk for hours and just like,
So he never intentionally like pushed Islam on you, but like just over time, like maybe he low key was, and he's like, is his subtle way of doing it.
No, he never. That's why I tried to say like when you said his manners and stuff. Like, I didn't really like. I never saw him pray or like anything. He would just do it on his own. Yeah. But like looking back on it, I'm like, okay. You know.
You see some connections. Okay.
It shows you that like even when you don't think, when you're not being intentional with it, just your normal mannerisms as a Muslim might attract someone.
Yeah.
You know when you realize it.
Yeah, I mean, I see it, and I experience that all the time through just my YouTube channel alone. Like, I get so many comments from people that are like, "Oh, I'm not Muslim, but I love like following your Ramadan dailies, and like I'm Christian, but I tune into Ramadan daily every year because it's so like interesting to me." And then I've gotten stories from people being like, you know, like you like sparked my interest in Islam, just seeing how you like interact with your family and like your cousins and like seeing how you just live your regular everyday life. It's not like, because on my channel it's not like I'm pushing Islam, like I am just a Muslim woman just living
just living your authentic,
just living my authentic life. You know, I'm not a perfect person or anything, but just like by seeing that, it normalizes Islam and makes it just like, oh, like anyone can be Muslim. And there's been I've gotten many DMs like, you sparked my interest, and you know, I took my shahada a couple months ago, and like different things like that. It's like, it's just by being a good person first. Like manners are so important in Islam. Like obviously the religion and the deen is and the belief is important, but manners come like almost right after that. You know, people learn about you through those manners first. That's what attracts them. And then they might be like, oh, there's a reason why she acts that way. Like, let me look into it. And, you know, it's just like, you just have to prioritize being a good person first, because that really brings people into the religion.
And I think it's because you're also like unapologetically Muslim. Like you're just living life. Like you're not trying to sugarcoat or hide anything.
Exactly.
Like, and because the vlogs are so casual, like you're giving people an insight that they might not have gotten that opportunity to see, right?
Yeah.
Because unless you have a close friend or you live with someone who's Muslim, you're never going to see a day in the life of like what you would normally do. And so, you know, good on you for that.
Yeah. And something as simple as like, because recently I started filming a lot of my like TikToks and reels in the bathroom. Yeah. And like, you know, while I'm like filming, I might accidentally be like, oh my, and then I'll spell out God. Yeah. And then people are like, you can't say the name God, like what's wrong? And then people will comment and be like, oh no, she's actually in the bathroom, and it's disrespectful to mention the word God in the bathroom. And people will be like, wow, like you know, even as Christians, we don't do that. Like we're not normalized to that. So it's like something so small, and they're like, they really care. Or I remember, you know, before we started getting like closer to marriage, I saw like some kind of sign. It must have been like, I don't know, like a homeless person sign or something. And it said like God bless or something. And as we were walking, I just kind of picked it up and put it on like the side, so it wasn't on the floor. Yeah. Something as simple as that. Like he asked me, he's like, why'd you do that? And I was like, I don't want people stepping on the name of God. You know, something simple like that, where people don't, it's not like I'm forcing something on them. It's just like my natural mannerisms. But people see that and they're almost like inspired by it. And they're like, whoa, like, it's not just, because I feel like Christianity, and I mean, this isn't no disrespect or anything, but I feel like there's a very different lifestyle view of like Muslims who are just living their everyday life. Like it's kind of just like in there, as opposed to like, I mean, I don't want to compare and contrast here, but you know what I mean, you know?
But it is odd how like Muslims who have the most respectful and like nurturing manners are the most demonized people in the whole world.
It's crazy.
Like now that you are a Muslim and you see like that contrast between like how Muslims are perceived versus how they really are, like how was that to you? Or did you because you probably didn't know a lot about Muslims years ago, like before you knew about Islam. So like, did you have preconceived notions before that, or because you already knew some people? Like, what was your initial preconceived notion about Muslims before that? Did you fall into that trap?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Do you kind of like understand the demonization of like? Do you see like the propaganda that the media tries to show
now? There's more. Now that you are
like,
Muslim.
Yeah, it's crazy. But like, I just think in general, like, America, white people, like, it's like they cover a lot of their tracks. Like, like you can say people, you know, obviously try to demonize Muslims, but it's like white Christians. We're putting black people through all these things. It's like I never really pay attention to what they're saying.
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of hypocritical.
Like,
like it's actually ridiculous. You know? So I think because it's like layers to it. Like I'm black as well. As a Muslim. You know what I'm saying?
And the thing about Islam is that like the moment you're a Muslim, like now you have a new family, right? Your brothers and sisters with like, and you probably notice this, like even if a person, you're African American, like an Arab guy would treat you just the same how you treat anyone else, right? Like it's in general they'll treat you the same. Like they treat you as a brother. They'll like come up and shake your hand. They'll hug you. They'll treat you like they've known you their whole life. But I feel like I don't know. I don't want to call it. You know, just saying in other religions, I feel like that brotherly love isn't as apparent. Like
I mean,
you
wouldn't
think
know.
that. No, but you would think that like African Americans, a majority of them being Christians, and then white people, a majority of them being Christian in America, they would have that same bond. But I don't see that as you do, because Islam is, as you know, super multicultural. Like people of all races and ethnicities are in this country that are Muslim, and when they see each other on the street, for the most part, they're very cordial and very friendly to each other. But I feel like you don't have that same bond, mainly with Christianity in America or in Canada.
You've mentioned that before, like walking down the streets in LA.
Yeah, like
people.
in our building, for example, like there was a guy and his wife on the roof one time. Middle Eastern descent. Really, no, I never met him before. His wife was hijabi. And anybody I walked past, I say hello to. He was pretty monotone. He's like, hello. And I was like, Assalamu alaikum. He's like, Assalamu alaikum, brother.
He lights up, you know?
he lit up. So it's like,
because once they know that you're a brother, because just the saying of Assalamu alaikum is like peace be upon you, right? So
nice when you like take in the meaning. But it's
just
also
a stranger you're walking by, like salam alaikum. Like it makes you feel good, you know?
Like unless you actually say salam, for you to like, you're not visibly Muslim like the way that we are, because we represent it in how we dress. And so I think I can see, like, if you're just like, oh hey, what's up, someone will be like, yeah, hey, whatever. But if you say salam, like you've experienced it. You see how much their face lights up, and they're like, oh, you're Muslim, like how are you? And then, you know, instant connection with somebody.
Seriously.
And they're more likely to like, their friendships just built off of the fact that you said assalamu alaikum to each other, and they know that you're Muslim, because like there's a certain, it brings so much with it, just knowing that you're Muslim.
It's like an immediate understanding.
Exactly.
You know?
But like, I don't know, do Christians have the same do they have any statements like that? No. Maybe if they had a statement, they would be more friendly to each other.
Still, like, just in general, like, I'm not like obviously digging at anyone or anything. But like, I think we talked about it before. Like, there's a certain level of discipline that comes with Islam. Like, Christianity has a lot of the same things, but just nobody follows them. So it's like,
you know what? That's so true, because I feel like whether we talk about it, you talk about it, or like someone breaks down certain rules in Islam, there are some Christian people that are like, oh, you know, we have something similar. Or a lot of people who have become Muslim after following Christianity, they'll say like, oh yeah, like I noticed a lot of similarities between the Quran and the Bible. And so the way that I see it, it's kind of just like, there's all these similarities.
Well, like in Islam, we believe in the Injil, which is the original Bible.
The original Bible, we do believe in that. Same thing with the Torah as well. So it's just been changed over time. It's been changed, and you know, that's why, you know, Christians follow the many, I think there's like so many different versions of it too. like there are obviously some like devout Christians who they follow, like they even talk about dressing modestly. Like I've seen Christian women on TikTok who cover their head, and I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that they did that.
Yeah.
But
and I've also seen, I think it was on TikTok recently, they were showing like how Orthodox Christians pray, and it's they bowed, they do the exact same, not
way.
like to a T.
Yeah.
But yeah, they
Some
start off
variation of
standing
it.
and then they go down and then they come back up. So it's like it was there. It was like
Just
different
slightly
font. Like,
literally.
like someone got lost in translation. Little steps got taken out. I don't know.
But it's just like seeing the extrmes, and that's not to say
Yeah,
that
the bathroom
there
again.
aren't-
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
We're just gonna continue. We're not even gonna take a break again.
Oh my god.
But yeah, like seeing how like someone can be so devout, but
Yeah.
then someone could just be like Christian by name, or like they were just born into it and that's
Yeah.
it. But like they don't even. I just find that interesting, but I know that there's that in Islam too. Like it's always,
Yeah.
I always
There's-
say this,
yeah.
like Islam is perfect, Muslims aren't. Like
Exactly.
we're bound to sin,
Yeah.
and you know what I mean. Like we just have to repent and learn as much as we can and do the best that we can. But
Yeah. And I think like through his journey in Islam, it's made me a stronger Muslim as well. Because like it's made me realize I'm like, it's seeing it through the lens of someone that is learning more about Islam.
Yeah.
It makes me, I'm like, wait, I need to brush up on what I know.
yeah,
Because he's asking me questions sometimes and I'm like, wait a second. Like, you know, and it's like there, you know, as Muslims, we can have this almost sort of pride that we think like we are great Muslims and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like until you're really tested, like in multiple ways, either like, you know, literally tested or just like figuratively tested in life.
right.
That's when your true Islam comes out, like your true love and like devotion to Islam comes out. And like it's been like a really like cool journey for me too. Like
Yeah.
just like relearning stuff that I thought I knew like the back of my hand, but I'm like, wait, like I need to brush up on these things, you know?
But do you feel like that has strengthened like your bond because now you're both
sure.
growing, not just like within love for each other, but like the faith, your faith in Islam, like
yeah.
because you guys are both learning in different ways and sometimes the same way. But do you
Yeah.
feel like that has really like solidified and strengthened the bond that you guys have?
Oh yeah,
For sure. For sure.
That's
like
good.
even just like,
Mashallah.
you know, taking the time to remind each other to pray while we're
Yeah.
like super busy with our work days because he works from home too.
Yeah.
Like something as simple as that, like being like, hey, did you remember to pray today?
Right.
Or like, let's, you know, I know you're super busy, but let's just take like 2 minutes to pray together real quick, you know?
Right.
Simple things like that. Or even just like we go to lessons every Friday and like that's kind of like, I mean, I don't want to call it date night, but it's like, you know, it kind of is like this tradition that we're carrying on for ourselves. And it's
Make
like,
your date night your faith night.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, we drive like an hour and a half all the way to Irvine from downtown LA to Irvine, like every Friday.
But I went with you guys and I loved like
Right?
that left such a lasting impression on me. And I was like
Exactly.
born and raised in Islam.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, like shoot, maybe I should consider moving here
Yeah,
too.
because it's like the older you get, like obviously, I don't want to say we weren't forced obviously to learn about Islam. I feel like we really enjoyed going to the Saturday lessons, and he would always ask me, he's like, damn, like you had school all week and then you had to go to Saturday school too. And I'm like, it wasn't like a burden. I mean, I feel like sometimes maybe we were annoyed,
Yeah.
but looking back in retrospect, I'm like, I was so thankful for those memories because it was a socialization period for us as well.
Exactly.
Like we would socialize with non-Muslims throughout the entire week, and we'd have
Right.
that one day to socialize with our cousins and our fellow Muslims and like learn. Those were where we learned all those manners and
Yeah.
like.
Right.
But that was almost like brought onto us through our parents and encouraged. But as you get older, you now have to create your own like rituals and your own traditions to
Right,
still
right.
be connected to Islam. It's
Yeah.
no longer like someone's telling you, okay, come on, we have to go to the
Yeah.
Saturday lesson. You know, you have to like do that for yourself now.
Yeah.
And I feel like for us, like it's almost become like it's like our tradition. Like we enjoy it and we look forward to it. And it's like in our calendars, you know, like this is
Yeah.
what we're doing. This, you know, we work our days and our weeks around it. So, yeah,
It's like a little iman boost, you know?
for sure.
Because you get so caught up in your day-to-day like work and whatever else you're doing Monday to Friday, and then you get to like spend an hour or two or whatever it is
Yeah,
getting that little bit of a recharge.
exactly.
Yeah. Faith recharge right there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I literally just said the English version of what you said earlier. Iman.
Yeah.
It's fine. You do be doing that a lot. I just ignored that.
Yeah. You know what sucks? Sorry, this is kind of off tangent, but like during Ramadan and like right when Ramadan started, I was on TikTok. it was all Muslim content. Like literally every school was Muslim content. The day after Ramadan is over, I don't get one piece of Muslim content anymore.
The Shaytan
We
has
were
been
talking
released.
about this
I'm
last
like,
night at my brother's
is the
house.
Shaytan like running TikTok? What is this?
No, but remember we were saying like I think TikTok, Instagram has realized like there are a lot of Muslims and they consume Islamic content a lot.
Yeah.
And get the views and make the money that they need. So why not push Islamic content during the holy month of Ramadan? Like, why not do that?
Yeah.
If you're thinking about it from a business standpoint, I would do it too if I was on the team.
But like the drastic change between the day Ramadan finished and the day after is like night and day. Like nothing. Before I was, if it went like maybe I got like
the
80%,
day of Eid, though,
then 70%, then like 50%. Day of Eid, of course, you got the Muslim like Eid content, right?
Yeah.
Maybe it's because people are just making less content, but I know that a lot of those sheikhs are still making content.
Maybe they've taken a few days off for Eid.
Yeah, imagine like filming for 30 days straight if that's
I guess
what you're
so.
doing.
Yeah.
You know, like you're gonna take a little bit of a breather.
Yeah. But it was just like it was so drastic or so significant of a change that I noticed it. Right. So that was just something. I was kind of annoyed by it at one point.
I mean, but on that similar vibe, on that topic, I know we've previously talked about like the commercialization of Ramadan. And I know that like you and I obviously have spoken about this off camera, but I wanted to ask you guys. So in Toronto, I feel like we celebrate the diversity and the multiculturalism here that almost most major religious holidays from a lot of different faiths are pretty celebrated or at least acknowledged here. And you were telling me that you noticed that they had like Eid Mubarak or Ramadan Mubarak signs in like grocery stores, and you guys don't have that in LA like at all.
At all. There's like zero sense of like it's Ramadan in LA. So coming here, it was almost like a re-culture shock. I was like, I remember we were like, was it Food Basics or I forget what
Food
grocery
Basics,
store.
yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, where's my phone? Like they have like a Ramadan Mubarak sign up here. I'm like trying to take a photo of it because it's so cool. And they have like Ramadan specials.
Yeah.
And then we went to Walmart the other day, remember? And it had like the date section. It had like a little crescent moon right in the entrance.
That's so cute.
And like I was just like, this is so cool to see. And even you said yesterday we were driving and he's like, damn, he's like, there's a lot of hijabis here. Like every other car is another hijabi.
They're out and about.
Yeah.
But it's also like seeing how restaurants accommodate like suhoor and iftar hours.
Yeah.
Like, do they do that at least?
No.
What?
Maybe in Orange County. We live in like proper LA, so there's nothing.
Okay.
Like I was explaining to you, I'm like, even our like gym instructor, I was like, oh yeah, you know, Ramadan's coming up, so we're not gonna really be eating and drinking. And he's like, Ramadan. He's like, what's that? And he genuinely had no idea.
So I'm gonna write it down. Look that up.
He literally wrote it down. He's like, and then every single time we go to work, so he's like, hey guys, so like everything good? Like we still doing it? Like,
Oh my gosh.
and it's so interesting, like the difference. Obviously, I was raised in this type of experience in this type of environment, but I feel like even just recent, like this whole like commercialization of Ramadan and Eid was not apparent up until like.
Maybe like 2
This
years
is the
ago.
first year that I've seen it in grocery stores, at least.
Yeah, like
Maybe it was last
pre-COVID
year
versus post-COVID is a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like obviously there's a lot of Muslims here. People know it, like what it is.
Yeah.
For the most part, I do remember I still had to kind of educate like some coworkers and stuff on it,
Yeah.
like growing up and whatnot. But like,
And you
for the-
still do now too. Like they know what it is. Like they know that you're fasting, but like
Exactly. They don't know
know
what
the
it means.
specifics. Like not even water.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing.
That's
you know.
still a question every time.
Oh yeah.
He thought it was joking about that, but we got the
it's
question.
too serious.
No, we don't make that joke.
Wait,
for
joking
fun.
about what?
You know how they're like, oh, but you could drink water, right? And you're like, no.
Oh,
not
that
even
thing,
water.
yeah.
I was like, it's a thing. I'm like, it's a thing in the Muslim community where like not even water is like a funny joke to us
Yeah.
because that's all we get. And he's like,
Exactly.
oh, like who really asked that? And then he noticed. He noticed it this year.
You had to explain to what Ramadan is
I
to much
know.
people.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see. I love coming back to Toronto and like feeling the love of Islam again. Like
Yeah.
it's just everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a Muslim person. It's
Yeah.
so nice.
It's like a soft Muslim country, you know, like not
Yeah.
really in a Muslim country, but like you're almost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just what?
I wouldn't even go that far.
I guess so. Yeah,
But it's just
It
more,
depends on the area
Yeah,
you're
it's
in.
just more apparent
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
Yeah.
opposed to LA.
I think we take it
More-
for granted because we live here.
Yeah.
People who are more like educated.
Yeah, like people. Actually, I'm still surprised by like a certain amount of people who are not. By some people who I interact with who still don't know a lot about Islam while living in like Scarborough of all places.
Yeah, that's just
Right?
ignorance on their part. They just don't want to learn about other cultures because I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
But you know what? I can't
Yeah.
even fully say that because in the same like thing, I don't really know much about. Like I might hear of certain like Jewish practices and like Christian, but I don't really know. Like I've heard of Passover. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
You
like,
know why, though?
How much do you know about
Because-
Hinduism?
But I think
I've heard of
people
things. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know.
You'd only really know if you're inquiring or if you're interested. But
Yeah.
like, she's not wavering on her faith.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like I'm
She's
not like
solid.
exactly. So yeah, I guess it's I can't really say they're ignorant to it. It's just
They maybe just don't choose.
don't
To
don't have
recycle.
Muslim friends or yeah.
Yeah, so it's not really a negative thing. It's not like, and then it's our opportunity to educate them on it,
For
right?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you would want to be that person to educate on them instead of like the news or
Yeah.
someone who might get it wrong, right?
I-
Or
I-
Netflix.
Yeah. I remember you guys talking about on a earlier podcast like non-Muslims fasting for like Ramadan and like what that means. It's like my trainer was literally like, we do F45. So the F45 trainer was like, yeah, man, like I think I'm gonna try it out next year with you guys. Like I feel like it takes a lot of discipline. That's like a really good like mental challenge too. And I was like, all right, next Ramadan. I'm
Hold
like,
them
you're
to
not
it.
getting rewards for it, but you can starve yourself.
Yeah.
But I get that. So like so many people are like, yeah, I've always wanted to try it. Like it's some sort of trend. But I'm like, I mean, if you want to, it is
Try
more
it.
than just a spiritual thing. It does really like it gives you a lot of health benefits too. You know, it cuts down on your cravings. It cuts down on your bad food habits. You know, it allows you to like have more mental energy for other things throughout the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like it, I mean, just
Like-
strictly from a physical aspect, like if you're trying to get lean or something, you know, it can help with your fitness goals or I don't know,
Stops
just like,
overconsumption of food.
exactly.
like
I feel like
even
it's a
me-
reset on your body.
Yeah, like even me getting back to like regular eating, like I feel bloated all
Same.
the time. Like we were
Yeah.
talking about that before this.
Hence the tea.
Yeah, because I tried to just jump back into what I normally eat,
Yeah.
and it didn't help. Like before, I thought I needed like a bunch of caffeine and all this stuff before the gym, but now I'm like starting to second guess. I was like, I was fine during Ramadan. I was going to
But
the gym.
Amir, you got to think about it. Like, imagine you're doing like a really strict diet.
Yeah,
And then now you're incorporating more foods into your diet. You can't just go all out and go like have junk food.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah,
gonna throw up. You got to ease yourself back into
yeah.
it. You know.
Like even last night, I was like, I was
I was
so
dying.
uncomfortable.
I
Yeah.
ate 2 slices of pizza and I'm like, oh my god, I can't breathe.
How was it working out? This was your first Ramadan actually like being active and working out. We would still work out like up to 4 times a week.
Yeah. I feel good. I think I prefer to lift and not do cardio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why he liked going to the gym with me, you know?
Yeah. Seriously.
Yeah.
But now you know, right? Because you tried it. And
Yeah.
you know for next year.
Cardio is like, I'll be going hard the first round, but like after
Yeah.
20, 30
Yeah.
minutes,
I
So
agree
you're
with that.
sweating, you're
I
losing a lot
prefer
of
strength
water.
training during
it's
Ramadan
too
too.
much. Yeah.
So now that you've like experienced Eid in Toronto, I don't know if Aysha ever told you about this, but there's like an Eid tradition as kids where like you have to buy Eid clothes. Like you
Yeah.
get new clothes for Eid prayer.
Mm.
Do you guys feel like that's still a thing for adults, or you just wear what you have?
No,
wear what I
well,
have.
Amir still wears it. I still like to get wear something new every year, and he went out and bought something new too.
Well,
Did you get Eid clothes? Yeah.
not by choice.
You were forced to buy something new.
Exactly.
I forgot my thobe.
He had such nice thobes in LA, and he forgot all of them because he packed in like
Dang.
15 minutes.
Oh my god.
Not you too.
And while
I
he's
know
packing,
you do
he's like,
that.
I'm a guy. He's like, I'm a guy. I can pack quickly. Forgets all his thobes.
Don't worry, you get used to it. You're a new Muslim, okay? You didn't know about the thobe thing, you know? Next time, inshallah. Hopefully, none of this was out of focus. We'll find out in the edit.
I'll cry if it is.
Exactly. Anything you guys want to finish off with before we leave here?
Not really. I feel like we covered a lot of things.
Okay.
Thanks
Yeah.
for joining us, guys.
Yeah.
This
Thanks
was
for
really
having
fun. I
us.
feel like
Yeah,
we had
sure.
a really good like conversation.
We did.
We got to know you more. They got to know you completely because they didn't know you.
Yeah,
at all.
I know. This is literally like the cousin connection exclusive.
Yeah, for real.
We're the Oprahs of this situation.
I know, literally.
Tell all session.
Oh,
Yes,
I feel
tells all.
like we still did a good job at like keeping things private though, because like
Yeah.
I think ultimately like I really enjoy our private relationship.
I was gonna. I
You know?
forgot to ask you about that. Like I know
Yeah.
that you put a lot of your life out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of how we became comfortable with the podcast was because we were so used to being exposed to your channel.
Yeah.
How do you feel about navigating like this new relationship and like kind of keeping it private, but like not a secret?
Yeah, I think like it's just for me creating better boundaries. Like I don't like, it's not like I'm like I don't want him in my content and stuff like that. I want to keep everything still like authentic to my life.
Yeah.
But it is my life at the end of the day online, you know? So like I don't feel obligated to answer every single question people are asking. And like if people were hounding me being like, what's his name? And I'm just like, now that y'all are hounding me, I'm just not going to tell you, like, you know? So it's not even like I'm consciously thinking of those things. I'm just kind of like going with the flow and like what feels
you also
good
have
feels good.
10 years of experience.
Yeah, true. I feel like I grew up a lot. Exactly.
I feel like you
grew through it.
sometimes like whenever like if we haven't seen each other in a long time and I miss you and I'm like, I'm gonna go watch an old vlog and just remember the memories.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, we were so unhinged. Like,
yeah, we would share everything and anything.
like, it makes
You
me
know?
laugh, and I'm just like, wow, you've come such a long way.
Exactly. So I think, just growing and creating those boundaries and like I said, there might be a time where I'm like, I want to do probably not a family channel, but like, you know, I might want to share more about our relationship in the future. But I'm just kind of like, I don't want to feel obligated to right now.
Yeah.
You know?
And you're not
I'm
like
just
you're not treating him like Wizard Kelly, you know? It's not like neck down
he's
over.
in there. It's funny because like during the Ramadan daily and some of the thumbnails, I'd cover his face with a heart.
Yeah.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
And then people would be like, why are you covering his face? He's fully in the vlog. And then the next vlog I did it again just honestly at this point I'm just trolling. Like it is fun to me. And then another one like I didn't put the heart and someone commented, they're like, thanks for not blocking out his face. I'm like, I'm not doing it for like, it's just funny to me, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like having fun with it.
Trolling
and just,
your own audience.
literally. Like if things are really not that calculated, guys. Like it's just I'm living my life and just, you know, going with the flow. But this was really nice. Like I'm glad we got to like share more about Yasin and everything. So yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
So we'll finish off on that.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel.
Please subscribe to their channel.
To Aysha's channel. We're gonna put all their links below. You guys know.
Yes.
You know the deal. And enter the giveaway. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't
$200
forget.
giveaway, y'all. And
Inshallah, we'll have bigger and better ones.
yeah,
soon.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And you know, and if you want to help us out, no, I was gonna say like put our cash app in the PayPal
dead.
at the
Don't
bottom.
even have cash. That's an American thing.
Yeah.
Support
Okay,
with
guys.
engagement.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, so inshallah we'll see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.